Hey guys, what is going on? I had some technical difficulties, so I'm starting like an hour later than I was anticipating. But and I saw people like commenting and stuff. I'm gonna blame it on the snow that we got. I don't know if it affected my, either affected my internet or it affected my brain. But at any rate, an hour later than I was anticipating, and I've got like a snippet video where like a little clip popped up for the original broadcast that was supposed to happen. So apologize for the for the delay, but I think we got everything figured out. So I'm going to run through this stuff. I've got two packages worth of stuff that I'm going to. What is up, Ty Locks? Man, I had some technical difficulties I was sorting through, so I'm starting later than I anticipated, but still wanted to run through these books and hang out with you guys on a Saturday morning, almost lunchtime here. So two packages and some stuff to go through. This is number 16. I can't recall if this is Riri joining Champions or if it's this character. I forget that character's name, but I picked up two of those. There was some significance. Now, keep in mind, I ordered these probably a month ago, so it's been a little while since I got those. So I'd have to go back. It's the downside of opening boxes and not having. I do that stuff live, so I want you to experience that unboxing portion of that. But I'll double check on that one. But it's one of those two things, I'm pretty sure. Oh, look who made it at the beginning of a video. I was supposed to start actually an hour ago, and I had some technical difficulties. And as I mentioned, I don't know if I can blame that on the snow or my inability to maneuver StreamYard accurately, but whatever, it's fine. Up next, this is Daredevil 52, and this was the second story arc in the Daredevil run. You've got Echo on the cover, wonderful David Mack art, love it. This is her. I picked up two of those, and this is her. Both of those are direct copies, but this is part of the. So that second story arc in Daredevil was Echo's origin story. So this is issue. It's 51 through 55, I think. Was her story, her origin story, and so I picked up a couple of those. This one of the shows I want to do. I have three different shows that I want to do. I do a lot of unboxings. I do a lot of I've started incorporating like pack rips, and I know Tylot says he's been doing a lot more of that than I have. But I want to do a show on storage and organization of comics, and panel who is involved in that. Then I want to do I'd like to do one on like CGC and CBCS and some of the grading, and just talk a little bit about that, compare the two. And also, so I've got a background in collecting sports cards. So how did those two things, what are the similarities and what are the differences in sports cards versus comics? And then the third show I'd like to do is just talk about speculation and some of the ways, like if you want to speculate on a book, some of the things that I do. It's not, I think these are it's not, I'm not doing anything groundbreaking by discussing it. It's not something that other people have other people have not discussed. But what's up, man? Had a little technical difficulties earlier. I'm starting a little later than I anticipated, but I appreciate. Hey, Diamond Princess, I appreciate y'all coming by. So three videos that I want to do that are not unboxings. I enjoy unboxing videos and haul videos and new comic book day videos and stuff like that, but I want to add some content that is informative and just kind of give my perspective on a couple of things. So grading, storage and organization of comics, and talk about some speculation and just kind of like how, like what I do, how to, how to do it and the best way to go about it. And to really what you're trying to do is like minimize your losses. It's just some really basic, like, investing type structure for speculation. So this book, The Initiative, Avengers #1, there are probably 5 or 6 first appearances in this book. And, Marvel has, I picked up 3 of those. They were probably, I don't know, $2 a piece or something. Cover price on this book was $2.99, so less than cover price. There is, let's see how this one is. All right, so this is cover A. I got 2 cover A's and a cover B. So connecting covers, so if you get cover A and cover B, you end up with like this panoramic. I can't look at the screen and do this. So, but yeah, you get something like this panoramic shot of all these characters. And, but there's like, I don't know, 6 first appearances in this book. I was just checking to see. Let's double check to see who did that cover. I do like that, but if you're speculating on a book, what is equally good, or what is comparable to getting a book for cheap, is getting a book on an inexpensive speculation book that has 6 first appearances. So your hit ratio is higher. You have a better opportunity to hit on a book like that. So up next, we've got 1872 #1, first appearance of this version of Red Wolf. There's been several, 4 or 5, I guess, over the course of history. Now this one, this is a period piece comic, took place in 1872. Steve Rogers is the sheriff of this town. And so the significance of this book is this version of we've heard that Jake Gomez is coming. Well, there's speculation that he's going to be the werewolf by night. And it would make sense. He's a younger character. He is, if Marvel is trying to diversify their roster with younger characters and diverse characters, Jake Gomez as Werewolf by Night would make a lot of sense. He's a member of I don't recall the Native American tribe he is a member of, but it would certainly diversify the roster by having a younger character take the mantle. And maybe they do Jack Russell is kind of like they did for Ant-Man. They had the original Ant-Man in the movie, but he was kind of training the new one. So I don't know. Maybe they do something like that. I would like to see Jake Gomez be the Werewolf by Night, but my reasons are selfish. It's primarily because I have quite a few of those. Well, I say quite a few. I've got 4 first appearances of Jake Gomez, and then I also have 3 of the artist variant of his first appearance. So I'd like to see it happen. I think it would make sense. I don't know. The actor that they have has some gray hair, so I don't know if he's the guy or not. I kind of go back and forth, but at any rate, in that series where Jake Gomez is Werewolf by Night, we see this version of Red Wolf. So I was like, okay, how does he get from 1872 to the modern era? And if you look in after this came out, Red Wolf, there was a 4-issue run story of Red Wolf, and he is tracking a villain, and that villain happens to have the ability to teleport time jump. And as he's tracking him, Red Wolf gets caught in the teleportation and teleport in the time jump, and wakes up and he's laying on the ground in like a major city with people in modern clothing standing over him like, "Hey, mister, are you all right?" And so that's how he got there. So I've been buying this book because it's the first appearance of this red wolf, and you can kind of see the clouds in the background are a red wolf. So um but I also have been picking up that red wolf issue number 1 to show how he got from there to here. So I just thought that was kind of cool. And if they go with, they might choose to use this red wolf version anyway. So you never know. And I don't know, a few bucks for that book. Definitely worth. Now that one cover price $3.99. So I paid cover price or less for that book. Up next there, so Avengers World number 9. This is the named appearance of Azari, who is the son of T'Challa, the Black Panther, and Storm in the comics. And this is a future, down the line somewhere this happens. So some people are wondering, okay, who's going to be the next Black Panther? And I think we've already got it covered now, but moving forward, who is going to be the next Black Panther? Could it be Azari? Possibly. The people who say no seem to think that, okay, well, it couldn't be him because they haven't introduced Storm, so they couldn't have had a kid. Well, in the movies, he's already married to someone else, so introducing Storm doesn't matter at all. And the movies don't follow the comics completely. They follow aspects of the comics. So they may not. He might be Azari might be the son of T'Challa and his current wife in the movies. They aren't above doing that. So this is there are 3 spec books if you want to collect Azari. You've got Avengers number 1, which was that one was, gosh, I want to say it was like mid to late 2000s, maybe 08 or something. I might be wrong. But John Romita Jr. cover art. Issue number 1 was the first cameo appearance of Azari. Issue 6 or 8. It has Thor on the cover, and he's battling someone on the cover of that same book, of that same series. And another John Romita Jr. cover. And in that one, it's the first full appearance of Azari. And then this one is where they like name him. So yeah, there's really like 3 books. So if you can get those 3 books for, I think that Avengers 1 is, I just picked up another copy recently for $6.50, I think, somewhere around there, $6. And then there was that issue number 8. That one's a little bit more because it's the first full appearance. And then this one, I've picked up copies. Now I've picked up copies that were in the $5 to $6 range, but I've also picked them up in the $2 to $3 range. So that to me, if you spend a little more for one, but then you find several spec books that you want to purchase that are cheaper, that your dollar cost averaging, you're getting you get one for 10, and then you buy one for 5, then you've paid $7.50 a piece for 2. So use that dollar cost averaging when you can. Up next, so Black Knight speculation. This is Black Knight number 2 from 1990, and this is the first appearance of the Squire. I don't recall his name, but again, number 2 from 1990. First appearance of the Black Knight Squire. Okay, so why did you get 6 copies of that? One, I spoke on I think it was 2 videos ago, I mentioned, sometimes when you're speculating on a character, maybe the introduction of the person is the book. And then sometimes the introduction of that person becoming the character, villain, hero, whatever. Um, what's up, homie? How are you doing, man? Good to see you. Hope y'all didn't get any snow down there in Texas, did you? Sometimes it's the person, and sometimes it's the character. So in this case, I was like, well, that's a that series was kind of cool, and that's from 1990, and let's get a few of the first appearance of the Squire of the Black Knight, and then I was like, all right, well, sometimes that if it's the character. Now I'll give shout out to Empire. He's the one I saw this from, and I was like, hey, that's a good idea. Thank goodness, man. We got a couple of inches, but it's warming up here, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I know. That makes people tend to not in the South, people tend not to know how to drive in those conditions. So that's not great when it's ice and sleet. But yeah, stay safe, man. Stay safe. So I got to give a shout out to Empire on this one. I saw this on his channel first, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. So this is the first appearance of Blood Wraith, and was a character that, villain that the Black Knight battled. This one's still bagged, polybagged. I'm not sure what did that come with. I don't know if it came with anything. New character trading card inside. Oh, I think it's a Blood Wraith trading card. So this is first appearance of Blood Wraith, a person that a villain that that Black Knight battled, and Blood Wraith actually was the Squire. The Squire of the Black Knight became Blood Wraith. So I saw the Blood Wraith thing on I saw that on Empire's one of his videos, and I said, well, I wonder who. So I did some research and saw, and I think he told me like, hey, yeah, I think he might have picked up this Black Knight #2. But yeah, I think that would be a cool character for him to fight. You never know. We'll probably, I guess maybe we'll see I don't know if we'll see the Squire somewhere along the way or not, but maybe he'll just be maybe the same character name, but he'll work at a company or something. Up next, this is another. So this is we're getting into the second box that I had to show. Another character that I like a lot is Bug from the Micronauts. First appearance, Micronauts #1. This is the first solo of Bug. And Micronauts #1. I do have one of those. I had that as a kid as well. But he's a neat character. Now, the significance is not, it's not just the fact that he was in the Micronauts. I think he was in, how his connection is, I think he was in jail or something, and Gamora and Star-Lord were walking through, going to see someone, and they see Bug there, and they help him escape, and he becomes a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I was like, he would be a really great character to put in the Guardians of the Galaxy. I could see them playing off that comedic thing with, like, maybe it's him and Rocket or something. But I think that would be really cool. And I remember Mikey Sutton at geekositymag.com. Most Sundays he's on Lords of the Long Box with TiVo, talking spec and MCU and all that good stuff. And I heard I had to like watch it on the rewind to go back, and did I just hear what I heard? But he mentioned, he's like, get your bug books now. And I was like, well, that would make a lot of sense. Maybe you get Bug's first appearance, then maybe you get his first solo, then maybe you get the book where Bug, like the first issue of the Guardians of the Galaxy where Bug joins. That would be a cool one to have. So up next, got us a little indie here. Now, I'm curious if anyone is reading this series or is interested in this series who did not see the TV show or was not interested in the TV show. This is Buffy the Last Vampire Slayer. I liked the show, and I liked actually had an ex-girlfriend who turned me on to Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show, and she had them all on DVD and everything. I liked Angel as well. That show was nice. Um, I've read the first 2 issues of this, and I've enjoyed it so far. I don't know if yeah, man. Yeah, he's cool. I'll have to figure out. I'll let you know which issue of Guardians of the Galaxy was like his first time joining. He would be a great fit though. Because I like the show, I've enjoyed this book, but that's the only perspective I have. Now, I don't know if anyone who didn't watch the show would. Yeah, man, it's it's entertaining. There is a little bit of like, teen drama in because they're in high school. So ask your wife if she likes Angel. Angel, you may like Angel better than Buffy. He's like Angel's a detective, and he's there to like moves to LA and goes there to help people and stuff. So so yeah. Evil Mike, what's up, man? Evil's Comics, thanks for stopping by. Okay. I'm intrigued by it. I mean, there was enough cliffhanger at each one so far for me to keep rolling with it. I enjoyed it, and I'm intrigued by it. So I'm curious to see how things shake out. So, but I got this issue 1, and then also for, I mean, maybe like cover price or just slightly over, the Virgin variant, which I like. I like the colors. Maybe it's because it's like kind of looks like Miami Dolphins colors or something with the teal and the orange. But yeah, I like. So far, I like it. So I'm curious if if anyone else is enjoying that book. So far, I'm probably going to stay on it for a bit. I don't remember why I bought this. Somebody said, "Hey, you should buy this," so I did. So I've got to go back. The downside of doing these unboxing videos is I don't want to make you sit through me searching through stuff. So we'll see. This is Star Wars. I'll go back and look this up. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge #2, and this is a second print. I said I'm not sure. This is a first appearance of someone. So, and I'm not as well versed. I would consider myself a Star Wars fan. I didn't. I would consider myself a Star Wars fan before I got on YouTube and Instagram and started following comic book folks who are real Star Wars fans. One of them is in here, Minutia Minute, huge Star Wars guy. So I don't know if you collected any of these, these sets or anything, but all the dark, if you can get, a lot of those Dark Horse books now are super relevant. And I wasn't interested in stuff that wasn't, I always heard that's not canon. So I was like, well, what's the point? I didn't, but who knew? Like, Marvel doesn't care. Disney doesn't care. They'll just bring them in. Just didn't like the build up. No sun, vamps and humans are friends. Last Slayer, the enemy. Yeah, that's cool. I get it. I'm curious to see, there's a couple of issue 2 even had a couple of surprises, so I'm really intrigued by that. Oh man, got to do those chores, brother. Got to do those chores. Yeah, there's something going on there, so I'll have to go back and do a little digging, do a little research. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Well, that's how you line them pockets, man. You gotta bring them back. So yeah, that's intriguing. So I'll go back and figure out who's in that one. This one was the first cameo of a team who popped up in Avengers 50. Um, I picked up. I had I don't know, one or two of these just from Free Comic Book Day, but uh, Free Comic Book Day, the Avengers, and it also has a Hulk story in it. So I picked up three of those. I think they were $2 or something. The reason, so it's the first cameo of this team, and is this who did the art in this? There's not a splash page thingy, and that's unstamped also, so that's good. No, I don't see it on there, but this has a couple of things in there. There's the Avengers, Atlantean Avengers. Now, I don't think that's a thing. I don't think it's particularly relevant, but just saying, just saying. Now and this was kind of cool too. The policing group. So this is multiversal stuff. There's multiversal stuff going on here. The policing group is the Deadlocks. There's a whole team of Deadlocks. If you don't follow the law, you're going to get in trouble from these folks. But the relevance of this particular book is the first cameo. I think this is Masters of Evil or something like that. But it's this multiversal team of there's like these are variants. So you've got the Wolverine variant. You've got, I think that's called Ghost Goblin, a variant of Green Goblin. I'm not sure who this dude is over here. I'm not sure the Mystic character. I'm not sure who she is. Of course, we've got Doctor Doom, and we've got the Black Skull. So Red Skull was, obviously an adversary for Captain America for quite a while. The Black Skull is Red Skull merged with the alien symbiote. So, and then you've got Kid Thanos. So they're in first full appearances in issue 50 of Avengers run. I don't know the significance, but for a couple of bucks, I wanted to pick up some of those just to kind of get some. I like to connect the dots on some of these appearances sometimes. So, so yeah, I like to get the cameo, get the first appearance of characters in characters who are in teams. I like to get their the first individual appearance of a character who's in a team. So yeah, that's interesting, the Dark Horse stuff. What is going on, Phil? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Yeah, Heroes Reborn. There was that black the Black Skull was in that. So yeah, we'll see. Who knows what they're going to do with it? They got talking about all these variant characters, and of course we saw it in Spider-Man. A character that is super hot right now is pretty much, it's any comic that has Elsa Bloodstone on it. So this is Battle World Marvel Zombies #1. I don't see this a whole lot. I don't see it a whole lot, but just about anything with Elsa Bloodstone is not available for long. So I was like, all right, issue 1 and issue 3. I think it was a 4 or 5 part series. So grab it and just see what they do. We don't know, we've heard that she's she's going to be a thing. We just don't know to what extent or how she's going to be portrayed in the new show. Or I would imagine she would be a show. She seems like a show character. Picked up 2 copies of the Avengers 38. They did quite a few first appearances in this Avengers run. This one was, so this is the first cameo of that kid Thanos character that I just showed. I don't know if there's really any significance, and I don't know the likelihood that kid Thanos is a thing, but I don't know. I think I paid my LCS did. Sorry about that. My LCS did. I went to pick up my books yesterday, and they had, unbeknownst to me, they were doing the 5th anniversary of the current owner's tenure. So all the books were, your new comic book day books. Those were all, so I got 2 of those. Of course, they had those there, but then back issues were 20% off. And then there's a really big section of recent back issues. So they're recent back issues. So they might go back a year or 6 months or, even a few weeks. Recent back issues were 50% off. So, of course, I had to do some, why not, man? When you're in the speculation game, man, cover your bases, especially if you can do it for cheap. And that's one of the things I'll talk about when I do a spec show. I'll do a show about speculation and just kind of the mindset, the approach, like what you should do. Because, there's plenty of shows that do speculation shows about, X-Men or like Fantastic Four number 4 or X-Men, like these old books. That's, aside from them just being like really old books, they're, I was going to keep the ones that had the black, the black skull in it, since I saw him pop up in this series. But there's, you've got, if you can get something, if you can connect the dots for cheap, cover all your bases inexpensively, that's the way to do this. So I'll talk about that on a show. I'm going to do a show about that. And it's not, like I said before, it's not anything groundbreaking. It's not, oh my gosh, Brad just lifted the veil behind, no, I'm not that, there's few things I can take credit for, and that certainly would not be one of them. I'm not reinventing the wheel. This is how really everybody, I'm sure, does it. But particularly if you're doing like speculation on recent books or fairly recent books, Bronze Age and to present. So up next, this is a tough book to find. I've been picking these up as I see them. Avengers Standoff, Assault on Pleasant Hill, Omega, number 1. First appearance of Avril. Is it Avril Kincaid? She becomes Quasar. So who knows, man? As they diversify their roster, they might go with the original Quasar from the 70s, or they might say, hey, let's make Quasar a female character. I've got questions about this next book. What are they going to do with Pepper Potts and Rescue? I'm like, all right, what is she? We didn't really have like a send off or anything for Pepper Potts. So what are we going to do? Like, what are we going to do for her? Is she, they've got Armor Wars coming up. Is she involved in that? I really don't know. But I said, all right, let's do Issue 10 is, I guess, considered the first cameo appearance, and issue 11 is the first full appearance. So this is Invincible Iron Man number 11, the first full appearance of Pepper Potts. Now there's a second print and a variant cover of issue, I think it's issue 10. In the variant cover of issue 10, this is actually the cover, that image there. So it's her first, it's her armor. It's the rescue armor. And then I can't remember if this next one is second print of issue 10 or is it second print of issue 11. I can't recall, but this is the cover. It's actually on the second page. That's the cover of the second print right there. So nice big, I'm glad I opened this up to see. Nice big image of the rescue armor. Might not come. Look at War Machine gets love. Yeah. My thought is Armor Wars could be, I don't think it's going to be. I don't know if it's Spec Paw Brad. Roscoe. I'll have to give Roscoe a quarter every time somebody says Spec Paw Brad. I think he's trademarked that name. So, my thought is that they would have multiple armored characters. She may not. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you're saying War Machine gets no. She may not come back because War Machine gets no love. I think he's just been overshadowed. I mean, but we've had. What is up, Uncanny Swag? What's up, homie? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, she may not remember Phil. She probably doesn't. But we've had multiple armored heroes before, so I don't know. I mean, she could be a part of it. We haven't had a proper. Well, there's certainly speculation of that. I don't know. That's a deep dive there. That's some deep speculation there. I think it's rumor at this point. I think that was just like some really good Photoshop. But I think they could do that, War Machine and Pepper Potts being involved. I don't know if Riri's involved. I don't know. They could kind of do their own, their own thing, team up together. We've certainly, like I said, we've had War Machine and Iron Man. I think War Machine doesn't get any love because I think he's considered like the second hand. He's the second guy. And I don't think that I don't think Pepper Potts is that's not a super expensive book in the waiting or anything, but is it a couple of dollar book that could be a $20 book? Maybe. I don't know. I just don't think they've had a send off. Do they have a transition where one member's ushered out and then another member's ushered in? Yeah, it does feel like that. I don't know if I don't know about like the Reed Richards thing. I mean, that's pretty interesting. They said variant, but everybody's been so on John Krasinski to play Reed Richards then why would you be, why would you? Yeah, I think I prefer Tim Cruise as the Tony Stark variant. So why, like, why would you? Everybody's been like, people are doing these signing um, petitions to have John Krasinski to do the um, to be Reed Richards, and why would you make him a variant to show up as a variant in the Doctor Strange movie? I don't know. Um, down to, hey guys, y'all help me through 2 boxes worth of stuff. I'm getting ready to go to a that could be, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. It could be, yeah, he might have to be a variant just based on his age. If it's going to be 6 years, I mean, I guess it would make sense that it's going to be 6 years. That seems like a long time though. We'll have to we'll check Tiny Tim Cruise's Instagram page and see what he has to say about it. See if he drops any leaks or anything on his Instagram page. The last book I have, this has a little Hawkeye. There was a scene in Hawkeye that intrigued me. So, New Avengers. This is New Avengers annual production starts in 2026. It just seems like a long time. They aren't even going to start filming it for 4 years. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. That's especially the way they like cranking stuff out, man. If we ever get this, the pandemic virus thing really under control, I wonder if they don't start cranking them out a little quicker then. So, all right, last book, New Avengers Annual #1. So there's 2 bits of significance here. So this is actually the marriage of Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, which is featured prominently on the cover. But this is also the first appearance of Yelena Belova as the Super Adaptoid. So if you look on the Marvel, if you look on the Marvel fandom page, and you can look up a character and just kind of go down the list, like their name, their previous or their aliases. So you might get, somebody who was a particular character, and you might see a particular character, and then on their bio, they'll have the aliases that they've gone by. So Yelena Belova, as we know, becomes the Black Widow. But in this book, she is first appearance of her as Super Adaptoid. Now she wears those night vision goggles, and she's like an assassin type, mercenary type, and she popped up with that same kind of getup in the Hawkeye book. So I was like, I don't know, that might be like missed spec. That might be, this book, even though it was $2, I think it's kind of cool to have I don't know if you ever sold a set with Yelena and did her different characters or something. It might be cool to have the mercenary version of herself before she became the Black Widow. But I liked when I saw that on Hawkeye. I remembered this book and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool," So, at any rate, it's probably nothing. It was a couple of bucks, and it's more, maybe just kind of a neat story than anything. I think it would be cool to do, to show some books that, not that they won't pop off at some point, but maybe show some books that I don't know. I have several books that I'm surprised didn't do anything after the movies came out. And so maybe I spec'd on a book and I don't know, the rest of the world didn't see it, but I was kind of surprised that there's a couple that I was kind of surprised about. So maybe a video on hey, this should have gone up in price. So I don't know, maybe I was right and the rest of the world didn't see it or something, but think it will be spec for Luke and Jessica. They're going to bring them back. Yeah, for sure. And it sounds like the last we heard it's going to be the same actors from the shows. So um yeah, Iron Fist was the only show. Jessica Jones was a little slow. Um one thing that made it more interesting for me, and I when I watched those, I wasn't collecting comics at the time. So when I watched those shows, something that made it more interesting was going back and looking up the names as people were introduced. Okay, well, who was this in the comics? And then you start realizing, like, wait, man, Hellcat's was it Hellcat or um there? But there were several characters in those shows that pop up, and you're like, oh shoot, that was so it's kind of fun to go like find those first appearances and stuff. I think she actually had like Full Killer, which if you see Full Killers first, that's another one I started buying. That'll be on a future spec show. Um, the first version of Full Killer was probably one of the more absurd looking one of the more absurd looking yeah, she never got to do her thing too, man. That was a shame. Uh Full Killer's first costume was a really absurd looking costume, and then he later became like a yeah, for sure, man. I'm with you. I would have loved to see. Yeah, it would have been cool if she. Well, maybe we'll see it eventually, but it would have been cool if it would have happened sooner in the shows. But uh, Full Killer, absurd looking costume, and then there's been a couple of versions of Full Killer, but his latest version was he was more like a mercenary type with a much cooler costume and probably a little more like a they made it a little more like a Deadpool type. So so that was I've been buying I've been buying his first appearance, and you never know. But but I did see that character in the show, and of course they never ended up doing, being the character, but if you look those names up when they're appearing, that's hey, John's Comics with Kids. How are you doing? Hope you're having a great weekend. Yeah, that would be Stiltman would be cool. Um yeah, man. Yeah, appreciate you swinging by. Um I know the YouTube market is there's quite a few people doing it, so I do appreciate you swinging by. I'm just wrapping up. Stiltman would be cool. It would be interesting to see how they would do that. I think that's a relatively reasonably priced first appearance too. I mean, for as old as the book is, um, mid to late 60s, I guess, a relatively reasonably priced book. So it would be neat to see. I don't know if they would do if they would do that character like he appears in the comics or not, but it would be pretty neat. So um, yeah, yeah, and he was in Jessica Jones, so yeah, yeah, that was cool. And I wasn't familiar with him before the show. That had I wasn't. I probably like Daredevil a little more now than I did when the show came out, and I don't know. Maybe it was because of the show. It was so gritty and a little darker than I had anticipated. So I think that's what made me really like him a little more. So well, folks, I am my oldest nephew, and yeah, That's Oh, that's cool, man. That's awesome. That's a cool looking cover too. Well, hey man, that's a loved if that book could talk, a well-loved copy of of a key book is there's there's definitely some if it could that book could tell some stories. So that's awesome. So guys, I'm done. I appreciate you swinging by. We're under an hour. So thank goodness for that. I don't know, it's when you've got to digest these on the rewind for over the course of 3 days or something. But my oldest nephew and his wife are expecting, and they are doing their gender reveal today. So I am going to get ready to head to the gender reveal, and it's a taco themed gender reveal. So I'm going to go have some tacos for lunch and everything. But I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Diamond Princess, I'm so glad you got to check out a live stream. Thank you so much for stopping by and for the support. I do appreciate it because I know that's comics aren't your realm, but I appreciate the support and the love anyway. And awesome, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, who doesn't love it doesn't have to be Tuesday to love tacos for sure. So I'll have a couple for you, Phil. Don't worry. And maybe a Corona or two or Modelo or something. But thank y'all so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Click the like, share, subscribe, notification bell, whatever you want to. Leave me a comment. For those watching on the rewind, thank you for your time. Folks in the chat, I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I will definitely see you guys around this weekend somewhere, I'm sure. Spine ticks tonight, so tune in. Always a good time. Y'all have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy your Saturday, and until next time, y'all take care.